Who are we missing? I'm missing somebody. Who are we missing?
Well, I'm just out here like in a circle all by myself.
Paul's got his own little circle.
I thought it was
Out here
Kyle.
in my own world, like
I
just,
know.
just in my own world over
Hold
here.
on. Kyle's coming. There. Yeah. You want to be the circle? I'll be the circle.
Yeah, you're the host.
Cool.
Okay.
It's cool. I don't care. Just
What are we doing? Okay. Guys, we are live. Round of shots here on this Sunday night, March 8th, 2026. Hope everyone has had a good weekend, considering. But we're here to talk Kentucky sports. We're going to talk the ladies. So they wrapped up their run in the SEC tournament, and we'll be waiting for their NCAA seeding next weekend. And we'll, of course, talk men's. Who's dropping now? Who's it? Where's
TV.
TV. Where are you at? TV? All right. Yeah, we'll talk men's basketball. We'll recap this past week, mainly yesterday. Look ahead to the SEC tournament. We'll talk Mitch Barnhart and a few other nuggets to wrap the show up.
this should be a calm show, Kevin.
It should be, but we're going to do our best to try to keep it at about an hour. We had a nice long spaces last night, Paul. It was good. There's Stevie. What are you doing? There's our official attorney. Our attorney has arrived. Anything that we say, he's going to make sure that anything we do say here can't be used against us. Right, TV?
I'm doing what I can to help you guys out. Yeah, absolutely.
Your audio is not good.
Coming through a potato there.
Yeah, I don't. You might
Testing.
Go
Real low.
low. Let me see if I can do
Yeah.
anything.
Low and slow.
Low and slow. All right, guys. Let's get it going. For starters, let me say hey to everyone. Davo, what's up, bro?
Oh, doing all right. Minus the shitty sports week. I'm rather pissed off on the inside, but other than that, I'm doing great.
Paul, what's up?
Just surviving.
Trace, good to see you.
It's been good to see you all too. It's been a tough week in the Kentucky fandom world. Sometimes it's like y'all ever seen that meme of like it said, God quit giving me. He gives you his toughest battles to his toughest warriors. It's like I'm tired. Quit giving me your toughest battles. I can't handle anymore. But other than that, still fighting the fight.
All right, Nolan, what's up, Bubba?
Pretty good, other than basketball, which has just taken my soul pretty much for the last 6 years. But other than that, I'm doing fine. We're making it.
Rando, Kyle, how are you?
It's Sunday, man. As soon as it show's over, I gotta actually start thinking about going to work tomorrow. So
Yeah, join the club.
this is the last happy hour I have until I go to sleep.
The real world awaits us tomorrow morning. All right, we're streaming live on X, Facebook, YouTube. All right, let's get this going. Some of my little etiquettes here. The ladies, they had their little run, SEC run. What was it? 3 games?
Mm-hmm.
Give me who? Trace, I'll start with you. Give me some feedback with how the ladies went this past week.
Yeah, it went exactly how I kind of envisioned it would. They got past the first 2 teams. played pretty solid. So had some great moments through those. But then you meet the juggernauts of all juggernauts in the women's basketball world. South Carolina, they deservedly so. They've earned it, but they have the tournaments in South Carolina. You're gonna, it's like if you had I guess we can't really say that anymore. Back in the day, if you would have had the SEC tournament in like Owensboro or something, you know what I'm saying? It's
Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville. There you go. And it's like, yeah, it's just all Kentucky. I mean, you're gonna get dominated no matter what. But with that being said, they are the best team. They deserve, and they waxed Kentucky pretty well. I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but they got
absolutely ass thumped today, by the way, by Texas.
Yeah, and then
South Carolina ran out of the gym by Texas today.
Wow.
Yeah, the way it went in Lexington, I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but they put up a competitive fight. But there you go. That's the difference, and that's the momentum you can have at home versus away, and they got to hand it to them. So,
anybody else jump in about the ladies?
Yeah, so I thought the Georgia game could have gone either way, just judging by regular season against them. I mean, we're pretty evenly matched, but the fact that they beat them by 15 I thought was encouraging in the second round. I actually thought they had a good run for the most part. The South Carolina game was more of a blowout than I thought it would be, but we've already proven we can play with them if we're at our best and at least have like a day's worth of rest, and it's not our third game in 3 days. I still think that this team can make the Sweet 16, and maybe Elite Eight, but they can definitely make the second weekend for sure. And I think this has been a successful year for Kenny Brooks. He's built upon what they started last year, and the sky's the limit for this program right now.
3 games in 3 days. Did the ladies get fatigued, TB? It's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, that's how these conference tournaments go.
It is. And if you don't want to play 3 games in 3 days or 5 games in 5 days, you do something about it, right? Davo, any thoughts?
Yeah, they're kind of the victim of their own demise, the way
Correct.
some of those losses that they had, Georgia, Mississippi State, so on and so forth, Alabama. Playing on Wednesday is not ideal, right? And the men are getting ready to find that out coming up soon. But this time you can actually use fatigue as an excuse. This is the proper time to use that. Running into South Carolina, obviously, after
it really showed. It really showed on some of those turnovers.
But once you remember just the way they played South Carolina, not even 4 days before that, we all believe, and even I believe the media finally understands that they should be a top 16 seed and play at home, and then have that right and make it as far as the Elite Eight as possible. It depends on the draw, but they like everybody else said, they've proven they can play with the best teams in the country. So not worried about them.
Okay. Paul, last night on Space, or Kyle, did you have a take on the ladies real quick?
Yeah, I think everybody said it. It we were gonna need another elite performance from Clara, and it's just the legs were gone for most of the team, and there wasn't really anybody else to pick up the slack. But get some rest, go into the NCAA tournament, see what they can do.
Pick up the slack instead of the slack.
Yeah, 23-10.
Thank you, Nolan. I thought that was funny.
23-10, I think, is their record. Last night, Paul, I'm going to ask you to bring this up, and we don't have to go ad nauseum on this, but you're not exactly dazzled with Coach Brooks, and tell us why.
I don't know. It's just a lot of hype and not a lot of there's not a lot of things to hang your hat on. I mean, we're double-digit losses. I mean, it's kind of like Pope. He came in and there's a lot of hoopla. Oh, he's such a good recruiter. We can do all this. And I don't know. I feel like we should be better than a 9 seed and there as well. I don't like some of the things he's handled with it. It just seems like we don't show up sometimes in every big game. We've gotten some losses that shouldn't happen there. So, look, it's not like he's getting fired either. And the recruiting seems like it's good, but it's not translating into kind of taking that next step. So we'll see what happens. I'm not saying I'm kind of neutral on him. I just don't think he's all that in a bag of chips that maybe we made him out to be. But he's got another year to prove it because he's got some girls coming in, need a big splash, and they need to take a big step next year. They can't be a 9, 8, 9, 10 seed and hear all the things that we're hearing. You got to see a big step. Same thing with Pope.
Anybody want to follow up on that?
Yeah, I'll push back on that. Look at the history of Kentucky women's basketball. It's not great. Matthew Mitchell's our best coach probably ever, if that tells you anything. And Matthew Mitchell was great, but Kyra Elsie, that was a horrible hire, and they about ran the program
terrible.
to the ground. That was a terrible hire. And look at what Kenny Brooks has had to build off of. I think they had like 8 wins the year before he got here, and then immediately last year, 23 wins. And this year, I felt like just kind of with the way that the class turned out, I thought it would be more like maybe about be the same as last year, if you know what I mean. Just don't take a step back, and I thought that would be a success. And I do think that was the case for this year's team. Next year, I think I might agree with you a little bit more that they may need to.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not like some people act. I guess the thing is like some people talk about Brooks like he's the greatest thing in sliced bread, and it's been okay, right? Like, and that's what I'm saying.
I think he's done a really good job.
You've got to prove it next year, though. In the aspect, you got to start beating some teams and taking a step, right? Like, and that's kind of just my overall point.
But
with basketball, but in basketball, we're in that realm all the way, right? Like we have good wins too, and we're a 9 seed. You can have one good win, right? Like they need to start showing that they can be a top 4 or 5 team in the SEC, competing for an Elite 8 to maybe even get to a Final 4, just being on that level, or at least taking like a lot of the teams like that to the mat, not having to go through 5 games in 5 days to win, right? You just got to take a step forward. It's different in men's basketball, right? Like, because we have that, like there's a lot more pressure on men's basketball than there is women's, but it'd be good to see us take like another little step, right? Like forward. You go from a 6 to a 5 seed next year, or a 9 to a 5. That's a big jump, right? In my opinion. Like, I'm not saying go win the SEC next year, but if you can go from a 9 seed to a 5 seed in the SEC tournament, maybe you get to a semifinal, I would consider that a really good show of progress and talent. And that's like that mile marker of like, hey, they're coming, right? Like, that's kind of what I'm looking for there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's done a really good job for considering the circumstance, but I'm not going to disagree with you on that last part for sure. I think that would be a huge step for the program.
Anybody else? Trace, you follow the ladies.
Yeah, I think that I think they could have a great run this tournament, and then it'd be essentially in the second year without the postseason yet. So there's not a whole lot. I mean, there is evidence to go off of, but not an extended amount of evidence. I think he's recruiting at a top level that arguably we've never seen here at this level for women's basketball. He is like the 3rd or 4th supported program on campus. Football and basketball is going to come first. Like, it is a little limited with that South Carolina. For them, I'm football's first, but I'm sure they're second or third. It's kind of limited, but that's
they're the cream of the crop, right? Like they're
be that case coming into it. So I mean, I guess can't use
but
all that.
They didn't used to be, right? Like, that's the other thing too, right? Like, I'm old enough to remember when South Carolina was nobody in women's basketball, and you had UConn and Tennessee dominated the landscape. You had Stanford in women's basketball, right? Like, you had like some of these teams that you see like now, like Tennessee, right? Like, they're not nearly as good, and they were like the standard bearer. UConn was the standard bearer in women's basketball. You're seeing that shift, which makes it exciting because it shows it's possible, right? Like the stranglehold is kind of like football too, right? Like the stranglehold on like the only 3 or 4 teams that can win it is no longer there. I mean, even Louisville's women's basketball team, you look at them, right? Like they've done a really good job. So lot to be at least optimistic for there.
Yeah.
Women's basketball is so different in that case, where I think if you just hire the right coach, I mean, you can do something. You can be like a South Carolina if you can just hire the perfect person for your job. It's unlike anything, I think, in that scenario.
TB, you solid now?
He's
Yeah, he's still.
All right.
He's a great lawyer. He freaking dips a lot, man.
I mean, he must be talking to clients, clearly. So
okay.
Yeah.
Talking to Mark Pope.
Yeah.
He's still charging by the minute too, I'm sure.
Charge. All right. Let's Davo. All right, what is going on here? All right, let's
David went to go change his green shirt so he didn't look so out of place with the rest of
us. Staying with the ladies, what is the projected seed? 4 or 5, maybe? 4.
Pretty solid 4.
Okay, which is they'll get the host. So again, that will all play out next Saturday, or excuse me, next Sunday. What is come on? Jeez,
It's all piling up on you.
No,
You had everybody on squares there.
I do.
There you go.
I don't know. We can do
There he
this.
is.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Just do that. There you go. Perfect. Roll with
You're
it.
in 2008. We're all in 2026 over here with our setups.
All right, so that's the ladies. Real quick, Dawn Staley. There's always been that little thing thrown out about her. Is she capable of coaching a men's team? Successfully coaching a men's team?
Yeah, I would say yeah, but you're gonna have, it's gonna be under my knowledge the first time ever. So you're gonna have like the kickback you expect. Our guys gonna listen to, if it comes to basketball, yeah, I think she's got a fair shot, X's and O's. But is the other stuff is it gonna handcuff you? I don't know. I think she would have a chance if at a smaller school and see how it goes. To my knowledge, the first woman to coach men's. I don't know.
She would be. She's smart enough for sure.
The head coach, yes.
As a head coach, right? Yeah.
Don't forget about Bernadette Maddox.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Patina, or yeah.
Yeah,
Patina.
that was the early 90s. So Kentucky was ahead of the curve there.
A little bit.
Would she, if you changed your question a little bit to like, would she be great on a staff in a very high role that's not the head coach? I'm down for it. I think she's good at something. Yeah, she's good at coaching, good in the basketball world. I think she'd be great as an assistant coach, and then we'll see how it goes, for sure.
All right, let's move to the dudes.
Yay! Let's go.
Yeah, now let's really. We're what a week. Texas A&M. I don't even want to talk about that one. So Florida, it was obviously senior night. A game, not just an important night for our seniors, last game of the regular season, but a game that if we had won, we would have locked the fourth seed up. Correct?
Double bye. No Wednesday talk, but didn't happen. Florida started off 11-0 run. Kentucky missed. Again, this team was just paralyzed in the opening moments yesterday. I think, but
like you said, paralyzed. It was such a weird feeling in that building because you had the excitement of like Otego senior day. They all got their applause. That place was full. The vibes were great. Everything before the tip-off was like, this is a big Saturday, Florida. And then, bam, 11-0. And it was such a sobering feeling. It paralyzed is what is right.
As good of a pregame environment as I've ever seen at Rupp, by the way. As good, if not better, than any that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
They at least responded. And then you just had bonehead play, followed by dumbass play, and the game went like
by one.
And all of a sudden you went from down by 1 to 14. Yeah, well, it was Garrison started it with an idiotic turnover, and then Jasper goes with an idiotic turnover and an intentional foul. And it goes, I think from that point it went from, because they hit a 3 or something, right? So it goes from 1 to 9 in like 2 possessions, which was just nuts. And then you're down 14, I think, within 90 seconds after you had the ball to take the lead.
Yep. And
that was that just, I mean, you could tell Jasper just didn't belong in that game anyway. And then that was just, what a dumbass play that was. I mean, it just changed the whole complexity, because Kentucky kind of had the momentum and had Florida on the ropes. Florida, they were on I think they were on a 19-9 run at that point. And then Florida goes on like a 13-0 run, and that was the end of that.
Yep, the end of that. And then so the Cats go into the locker room, halftime down 49-32, set down 17 on senior night, which I heard it on the TV. There were some boo birds in Rupp.
Oh,
how often do you hear the boo birds on a senior ceremony?
Constant boo birds too, like up and down the floor boo birds.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've heard boos at games this year is like I've never noticed it as much as this year. I know it's not been like this, but like even I don't remember the last year of Cal. I don't know if there was a boo that I caught, but like I bet you I can think of 7 games this year that I've been at that they were boozing. Like, I'm always getting used to it. Like, even on just bad plays, it's like we could be down 5 and be within reach, and like a bad play, a player will get booed like 30 people. I'm like, it feels it's different. There's some people aren't very happy.
Well,
it was very loud. It was very loud yesterday. Very, very audibly loud for a couple possessions after that. And a lot of it wasn't because we were losing. It was because of just terrible play execution, bad positioning, coaching. I mean, you name it. There was multiple times yesterday. I even remember another play when Jasper came back in the game. He's just staring somewhere, don't know what he's doing, and the ball just gets tipped. And if he's paying attention and he's engaged, it's a turnover. And you're just seeing people booing then. It wasn't as loud, but it was very loud in the first half. They got booed off the court at halftime as well. So, I mean, again, I've said this and I'll die on the hill. It's not the losses. It's the effort, the execution, the game plan, all of it. And it doesn't matter. Like, we're down 3 players and everything. This is a poorly coached team that doesn't give effort, that has absolutely brain dead moments on defense, that has players that don't know what they're doing on the offensive side. And then it'll do something like take a dribble, crossover, up and under Euro step. And you're like, where the fuck's that been for the last month? Right. And that's, it's there. Obviously these guys have talent. We just don't have a staff right now that can get that talent out. And that is the problem. It is not the fact that we lost to Florida by 5. If we would have lost to Florida by 5 or 6, and it was that game, the whole game, we're all talking about, hey, like, Kentucky's down 3 starters and they're taking arguably maybe one of the best teams, if not the best team, to the mat. This team could make a run. Instead, we're sitting over here going like, my God, are we even going to get to Friday to play him again?
Yeah. Well, look,
careful with that we. Careful with that we.
Let me.
You're homering way too much and not the reality of what's happening. I mean,
hold on, Kyle. I'm gonna let you talk. Kyle. So the final count: 84-77, 7-point loss. Owe was the lone bright spot, 28 points in his rough finale. Kentucky did outscore Florida by 10 in the second half. Did get it down to 5 late. But in one glaring stat, 24-4 fast break points. That was fast break points, 24-4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so Kyle, jump in, and then we'll pivot. Go ahead, talk.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been steadfast on. I get the frustrations. Same here with the constant double-digit. Just feel like you're getting smacked in the face, blowout by halftime. Feels like, Rupp Arena feels like, why did I even show up 4 minutes in the game as we're going? And this one felt a little bit different because we made the run back. But I think you got to look at the totality of the game. And if you look at the way that game is finished, we put ourselves in a poor position, and we can argue why that was: substitution patterns, coaching, player effort, talent, whatever. But you are in a position still to beat arguably a top 3 team in the country right now. Not arguably, definitely one of the top 3 teams in the country right now. To get that double bye in a season that's been disappointing, you are a missed shot clock violation. I haven't seen anything where that thing hit the rim. Again, Brandon Garrison in the game. So, why? Because I think Moreno gets the rebound. Again, so I get I also have my frustrations with aspects of this team in the coaching. You get a turnover that should have been a turnover where boy steps out of bounds on the baseline. Like, you are there in the game at the end of it against a top 3 team to get it, right? So if you look at it holistically, we should still, while be frustrated and the boos are deserving and the questioning of some of the stuff throughout the first, portions of the game, the middle 8, whatever you want to look at, but you can still look at it and be like what Paul just said, against the top 3 team in the country, we were there in it to win a game. And if some calls go our way, who knows what happens, right? So two things can be true. You can be frustrated, but I don't think just because some things happen every single time, we find ourselves in this situation, we have to go instantly to dude's not capable, can't coach, gotta fire. It's just that all that stuff. I don't see how any of it does any good at this moment in time.
Down
That's my
18 with
frustration.
7 minutes left. Florida takes their foot off the gas, and it was 24 seconds left.
You can spin whatever narrative you want to, or
we're still
or
down.
you can say our team didn't quit.
Oh, but we have 14 of those. Our team didn't quit, like things that we make fun of Louisville for. Oh, congratulations! Like, we make fun of other teams and pretend to hang banners there for like almost won the game, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like we were in that position because we played like shit,
Again, I'm
and
not
Florida
sure who
just
we
checked
is,
out.
but
Kentucky, the University of Kentucky, like this is a historically bad team, like historically bad, very historically bad. And we're talking about, we didn't quit. We got our ass railed on senior night down 18 with less than 7 minutes to play, and Florida took their foot off the gas, took their starters out, and there was a blown call. Okay, they came all this stuff, but they also didn't do anything. The last part of the game, we still lost by what, 7 or 8, 9, whatever.
So, TB, I haven't heard from you. I know you got a lot. You've done your homework. So our residential attorney at law.
Can everybody see that? Is that visible?
Well, let me do you a solid. Let's see. Can I do this?
oh, it's less visible now.
Oh, hold on. No, I'm gonna try to. TB gets this spot. Damn it,
I
come
saw
on.
it fine when it was all of us. Could see it fine.
Yeah, I could too.
Okay, fine.
That's perfect.
So look, okay. So he's going to get year 3, right? I've been saying year 3. This is what we have to see in year 3, right? He's got to reach the Elite 8 because every year 3 coach gets the Elite 8. He's got to be SEC Coach of the Year because every coach since Adolph Rupp has been SEC Coach of the Year. He's got to get his win percentage up to 69% because every great coach in Kentucky reaches that mark.
What is his current percentage?
His current percentage is 65%, right? We've got to get rid of the double-double, right? No more 10-loss seasons. We have to stop getting beat by double-digit points, right?
How many of those?
So he's got 24 losses in 2 years. 14 have been by double digits. That's 58%. That's a fucking lot. Like, people want to talk about the Boo Birds. Kentucky should not be beat by double digits 60% of the time, right? He's got the wins. The losses are bad. Now, last year, we had 9 losses by double digits. This year, we've got 5 losses by double digits. The average margin of victory or of loss is 12.5 points a game for all 24. That's a fucking lot. We talk about how great Kentucky is. Paul, you talked on this, right? The thing is, if you want to be a great coach at Kentucky, we make a big deal about 5 coaches winning championships. Right, gentlemen?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
5 coaches have won. Right, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Adolph Rupp won 82% of his games. Champion. Rick Pitino won 81% of his games. Champion. John Calipari won 77% of his games. Champion. Tubby Smith won 76% of his games. Champion. Joe B. Hall, 75% of his games. Champion. If you want to sit at the big boys table, you win 75% of your games. I don't care that we have 3 people out. I don't want to play close. That's not what we do here. All I'm saying is, when I was defending Cal in those last couple of years, people kept telling me about the standard of Kentucky. They kept telling me that our standard is above everybody else, right? Is that what people said?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what people
Yep.
said, right? So
Yep.
what I'm saying is, if we have this conversation next year and we don't hit these marks, then the standard has been lowered.
Or you get rid of them.
Yeah,
And
you
then
got to
we
go.
go-
Right,
gotta
we go get somebody else. Because if we don't do this, then this is what every coach has done, then we are lowering our standard.
And
Right?
that can't happen. We can't allow that.
Yeah.
The-
Dave,
That's
we
the
have a-
issue-
let me
that's
get
happening
let me
at
get
the
Davo
AD
in here
spot.
real quick. Let me get Davo
Go
in
ahead.
real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dave? Speak, sir.
Well, first of all, Paul, you're not going to bully me out of my green shirt, okay? Sometimes you just got to be different. Just because I was cleaning up my dog's throw up in my office, don't mean I couldn't hear you talking. So I heard exactly what you said. Anywho, like I said,
That's funny.
like I said last night, when I was in my feeling, just constantly doom scrolling on Twitter, the effort from that team, knowing damn gonna well what they had to do. Now, granted, it's
Saturday's team. Saturday.
Yeah. Now, it's a big what, right? Which is probably one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to go and win a national title, right? But you get them on your home court. You get them during senior day. You get them whenever you expect to play your absolute best, whenever all you have to do is win for a double bye. The most prestigious thing in SEC tournament is a double bye. And I thought it was funny. I thought it was going to get more engagement. But I said that I have seen better effort out of fat people on 600-pound life trying to lose weight while sneaking sugar cookies. Okay, I've seen better effort out of those people than a whole team just trying to win a game for double bye. Right? Okay, am I right? The effort was shit from start to finish. I am pissed off. I am totally checked out. I'm sorry, Rando. I know I'll keep going back and forth. I am totally checked out right
We
now.
need
right?
Rando here tonight. Just saying. We
Like,
do need
now listen, am I gonna watch Wednesday? Yeah. Am I gonna hope for Thursday? Yeah. Fuck, I'm gonna hope we make it all the way to Sunday. Right? Am I gonna watch this NCAA tournament? Am I gonna cheer my ass off? Yes. But am I pissed off and am I over it? Yes. I'm over Klopp and I'm over all the way to Zach Toe, who never sees a minute. Like, I'm tired of the entire thing. Right?
Mhm.
I mean, we don't deserve this. I don't know what we did to deserve this. I don't know who we pissed off, but I'm done.
The basketball gods, because we collectively said the 2015 team was a huge disappointment, and the universe is like, I will show you what disappointment is.
No, we did not collectively say that. I really have never heard that. No,
You've not heard of
I've never heard that.
You've not heard people say they stopped being less of a fan.
I
because
never
of
heard that.
2015?
No.
You've never heard that?
No, maybe from like crazy people, but
No.
never
It's
felt
that
that.
same weed that keeps getting thrown out.
Timmy, what does that mean? So whenever us as fans, and I'm going to speak collectively, but whenever us as fans are so frustrated and so pissed off and so over this bullshit, and we complain, and people are like, oh, well, then you got to turn in your fan card. You ain't going to cheer for your team no more. What the fuck does that even mean? Are we not allowed to be upset and pissed off that we spend money on merch, on tickets? We spend time. We say fuck our family and watch basketball instead to sit here and watch this bullshit? Are we not allowed to complain and bitch without turning in our fan card? Like, that's passionate. Right?
I'm not saying turn in your fan card. I think you
I'm not saying
misunderstand.
you are. I'm talking about the other people.
I recently found these sounds. Go ahead.
Sorry, TB. I'm done. Go ahead.
No, it's all good, man. I have my whiteboard. I got my notes. And the thing is, the non-win team lost by an average of 6 points and had a lot of close games. That's why it feels different, is because Kentucky is not competitive in these games. Right. If it stays, like Paul said, if it stays 4, 5, 6 points for most of the game and you lose it, you could say, damn, I wish we were healthy. But when it gets to be 20 points, and what have I said repeatedly on this show? I'm tired of Kyle Ravitch saying, if Kentucky can get it to 10. He said it Saturday night, and my wife looked at me, and I'm like,
we get it to single digits by halftime.
Yeah, if we get this, if Kentucky's watch out, and I'm like, people are just tired of that. And it's okay to be tired of that.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
No, it's okay. Go ahead, Trace.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, or Trace, go.
Sorry, I just real quick. I think also what makes it hard too is, like, as Kentucky fans, this fan base is different from most. We all care. We all watch every single second. So part of the hard part is when we know early on in the year that the team might be bad. We get these vibes, oh, this is going to be a long year. We marinate in it. Other schools, they just, we're not watch out. Indiana fans, all the other schools, others not watch. This team sucks so well. We watch every second. We watch every press conference. We have podcasts on Sunday night talking about it when we just became a Wednesday on the SEC tournament. Like, we marinate in it. And so that makes it hard. Yeah. It's like the definition of insanity, doing it over and over again. And we do it all year long. So that just, we're baking in the hardness of the year, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Trust me, I wouldn't be doing this on a Sunday night if I lived in Montana or something.
to put like when we take off like you got to like really put this into context and perspective of where we're at and the historical aspects of where like this is in the entirety of Kentucky playing basketball. Kentucky has lost 14 games, which we haven't lost 14 yet, but we have to literally win the national championship or the SEC championship to not lose 14, right? 4 times in history. We've lost 13 or more 6 times in history. 2 more losses. Billy G was 40-27. Pope right now is 43-24. Now, a little more wins, but you also are going to have a really bad year. And the thing that we have to look at, and we're saying, oh, this dude can't do it. And like, Rando, I get where you're coming from. Like, you want to be positive. But this guy, the coach also, he's been a head coach for 11 years. 9 of the 11 years, he has double-digit losses. Like, there's not like something that said it doesn't. But that should mean it's even easier. You're at Utah Valley. And you're at Utah State.
And BYU has gotten worse since he left. Like, well,
they got worse.
Look how many top 25 wins they have since Pope has left and what Pope has done at Kentucky. But I mean, you talk about being old enough. I'm old enough to remember being on a live watch during the Gonzaga game at halftime, and we should fire this dude because he can't do it. And the next thing you know, oh, never mind. And then we replay the same thing on Duke. Oh wait, never mind. And then by the end of this season,
I'm not the one calling for him to be fired this season, though. I'm not saying he should be fired. I don't think he should be because we have the same idiot hiring another coach, which makes no sense. Like, that's why we're kind of in a position. You got to give him the 3rd year. You got to give him some benefit of the doubt anyway on the fact that we have had injuries. So, like, I'm also not sitting here, but I am also, like, looking at this historically going, like, if we look at this, like, without, like, any kind of just, there's no agenda. I have no head coach that I think we should go get. I'm not pushing and vying for anybody, okay? But if you look at the aspect of he has 9 out of 11 years that he has double-digit losses, all right? We've not come out of the gate great. We've had the same issues have kind of plagued us now 2 years in a row. Now injuries have played a factor. Now we have to go out and flip an entire roster because we have no recruits coming in.
0.
Maybe we land 1, maybe we land 2, and then we still have to go get 5 or 6 in the portal to have a chance to be good. Everything's stacked against us right now, and that's the aspect of kind of what I'm saying. It's not good, and you couple that with historically bad performances and historically bad losses in the season. It puts Kentucky basketball in a bad situation. I want him to succeed. I would love nothing more, Rando. I promise you. I want nothing more than us to win 5 games in 5 days this week or to go out and make the Elite 8. I want to beat. I want it. I'm going to cheer like shit. But it doesn't look good. And that's the aspect I think where we're coming from. I don't think we're going to go get Todd Golden. I'm not naive enough to think that we're going to go pull like the best coach out there, right? I don't think that we should get rid of Pope because I think we have a better chance arguably with Pope next year than if we fired him this year and Mitch Barnhart's dumbass tried to go get another guy because I think he's incompetent and capable to go get a coach that's with the times right now. You got to go find that Todd Golden, right? Like you got to go find that guy because guys aren't leaving blue blood programs like they used to. They're not leaving in basketball. They're not leaving in football. You got to go find the guy that's maybe somewhere a step down, right? Like people like Jai Lucas.
You got to find Todd Golden before he's Todd Golden.
Yeah, Jai Lucas isn't leaving Miami. Miami could go throw $11 million at the guy, and their NILs is 100 times better, and you get to live in Miami. And it's easier to win in Miami, right? You have less pressure. So that's what I'm kind of saying there. Like, people should stay off. Like, we're not firing them. It's actually dumb for us to want them fired this year because of the situation we're in at the athletic department level. But at the same time, we're cognizant of the fact that there's a lot of cards stacked against the deck too.
Real quick,
I'm not saying that I'm sold on Pope. I ask folks to just think clear-minded. I think we can at times be rabid as fans, and I get it. I'm the same way. Like I was on the show a couple weeks ago, and I have like dents in my garage floor because there was a dumbbell that got dropped and thrown because I'm so like frustrated. If we look at it throughout the whole season, you can't lose to Texas A&M, you can't lose to Georgia, you can't lose to Missouri. All these things are you can directly point it back to Pope and decision making for sure. And some of these games early in the season, we were healthier than what we are now. Also, though, as we get later and some of these big runs that we go on and if you go look at the top 5 teams in the country, they all have 8 to 9 man rotations. They all are playing dudes less than 30 minutes. There's only a handful, 2, I think, Florida and maybe Michigan that are playing guys more than 30 minutes a game. So the guys that are coming in here to supplement are starters who I think do give effort 80% of the time on the floor. There are some boneheaded plays, but yesterday I don't look at the guys we rely on not so much giving effort. Colin Chandler disappearing kind of sucks, but
they shut him down. They did a great job too.
I
don't blame Colin there. They did an hell of a job defensively on him.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is if you look at the guys that are coming in here to spell them, they would typically be on the end of the bench in their sweatsuits with their laces untied, right? No expectation to get in the game. Jasper's taking a bunch of licks. BG, if we have a healthy 5-man, does he get playing time? I don't know. Ballard thinks so because there's some kind of weirdness going on in the locker room there if you listen to what he's saying. But ultimately, I'm saying some of these guys aren't getting some playing time. So if you look at it and what Pope has to do, you talk about trying to unleash that talent. Some of these dudes are just limited, right? And they're on the roster as back-end pieces anyway. So I agree with everything TB is saying. The year 3 has got it. I know Dave always said the same thing. Year 3's got to be it. If you look at it and you try to find some positives in what's going on, I do believe there is some defined in Pope for a year 3 to be successful. Even if it's all about the transfer portal, because that's what he did year 1.
Turn the page.
Now, real quick, Mark Pope does have 4 of the largest halftime deficits overcome to win in Kentucky history. He's got 4 of the 10. So, yeah, I'm coming with some positive as well.
Well, you know why that's the case.
Yeah, because they're down, and we've been down against Power 4 teams about 85% of the time.
Exactly, yeah.
All I'm saying is I want him to have time, but the people that are on Twitter, whatever, like you're not a good fan or whatever. It's like when Corey Price and other people are putting out this. My friend Blake, I can't remember his Twitter handle, was like, it's Mark first time since Pope, because after every game, it's the first time Kentucky's lost by 20 points since 1924. It's the biggest It's the biggest margin of victory we've had since probation with Pitino and before Adolph Rupp. And people are tired of that. Like Billy G lost, but not like this, right? No, Cal lost, but not like this. And then I saw people moving the goalpost, right? Because I've said 3 years. And people brought out Joe B. Hall's second year that was bad. His third year was runner-up, and then he won a 78 championship. And people point out, well, he had some other bad years, and then he had to go, right? Eddie Sutton had to go. When Tubby became 10-loss Tubby, he had to go. When Cal was losing, he had to go. The problem is we got the championship first, and then we got the 10-loss seasons, but now we're mired in a 10-loss season without the championships. And so to Paul's point is what do we have to look forward to next year? Besides hope, what do we have?
It feels a lot like
Did you not get tired of that with Cal in the last 5 years, where it was always by this time in the season we were just like, well, guess what? He's got the best recruiting class in the country.
Yeah,
who cares?
Yeah.
Who gives a damn?
I agree with you.
Damn.
And that's why he's no longer fucking coaching.
Yeah.
I said it was time for him to go. I said it was time for him to go because he got to the mountaintop, and at Kentucky, it's can you get back to the mountaintop, right? You get there, can you get back? But now we're like, we don't know if this guy can. We think he can.
And expectation and potential will get you fired.
Look,
look at this season. We had expectation and potential, and we didn't live up to it. It will get you fired if you can't do it.
Yeah,
I'll play devil's advocate. I'll play devil's advocate in this too. Like, I think there is something to be said, and we might talk about this, more at length. And I put this post out. I do think there's something to be said about the administration. In the last
needs to be said about the administration.
6 or 7 years of basketball and NIL and everything, like there is a kind of a thing of like, all right, we had this with Cal, and now we're having this with Pope, and I do think a lot of the reason why Cal left was because of NIL, and I think if we would have fixed it, he would have probably still been here. I think that Arkansas was a life raft for him to get out of the situation. I don't think he wanted to be in. I think there's some constraints there too. But the reality is Kentucky's not like, we haven't been really worth a shit in basketball since, I mean, we haven't won an SEC tournament since 2018, guys, right? Like this transcends Mark Pope too, right? This is not just a Mark Pope problem. And there's a lot of double-digit losses, bad losses, double-digit seed losses, right? Like, at some point, always blaming the coach is a problem, because you got to go to the root of the problem, and it's not just the coach.
I don't want to hear anymore.
Great point. We're 2-0 against the spread against Florida. All right. Good teams win, great teams cover. Don't ever forget it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear – if I ever hear that excuse, by the way, of Joe B. Hall. Joe B. Hall's second year, they went 13-13. Look at Patino's first 2 years. I think I'm going to take my phone and throw it through my wall, because I'm getting pretty tired of that one. Do we understand that happened in the
Harry's
Richard
got
Nixon
those receipts.
administration? That happened in the Richard Nixon administration. Roster construction is so different now than it ever even thought about being 50 years ago. And then the whole idea that it was a bad situation when Pope got here. Pope got here on really what I would call a pretty positive, not a positive, but a pretty okay situation, an opportunistic one, at least, because he could come here, build his own roster from the start, and put his own mark on the team immediately. And he did that last year.
Joe B. Hall had 13 losses, 8 to top 10 teams. Like, it was a brutal schedule that year.
Yeah.
If we're keeping it buck.
Okay. Hold on. Let me hold on, Davo. Let me get this part out, and then I'll let you talk. You know, last night or yesterday's game also just you know, I think it's probably fair to say BBN's frustration, you know, is, you know, still there. But then you had the post game quotes. Yelovich didn't hold back after the Florida loss, after yesterday's loss, calling the team's play childish and saying guys were playing losing ball by not sharing and taking bad shots when things got tough.
Agree with that.
It's, I mean, a talking point here. Is there a leadership rift? Is, you know, who is the, you know, is it always the, do we even have an on-court leader? No.
It's a shared.
No. There's no one dude on there that's like the dog that's going to walk in that huddle, drop 32 F-bombs, threaten to punch everyone, shoot your mom, and then have you scared to go back on the court that you got to play hard, right? Like, there's no – Ortega's obviously the leader, and he tries to lead by example. And, I mean, there was a time where I thought he was going to lead the team and they were going to win, right? Like, that maybe he's going to score 40 and he's going to win it on his own. But this team has no vocal leader, and I think that is an issue. And he's right? Look, when this team shares the ball, they're good. When this team shares the ball and plays team defense, they actually are pretty good. But like yesterday was just that they fall into those ruts, and that's the confusing thing. How can we go out and look like we are a Final Four team and can play with anybody in the nation, and then just go out and get skull stomped by, you know, Vandy? It's crazy.
Davo,
we're just not multiple, you know. We score in single ways if Moreno's not making at the rim, and it's really easy to coach against that.
Yeah, Davo, I think it's safe to say the fans are a little bit exhausted with the unpredictables. Is that what they're calling this team?
Yeah.
Falling behind by 20 points in back-to-back games, to me, is a coaching and preparation red flag. But go ahead, speak.
Yeah, so you talk about confusing, right? So Pope's first year, right? That was, now look, Sweet 16 is not what Kentucky basketball is, right? We can all agree on that. That is not our goal, right? Our goal was Elite Eight, Final Four, national championships. We want to have so many banners in Rupp Arena that we had to build another building just for banners, right? That is our goal at the University of Kentucky. So the most frustrating thing is he did so much last year with so less, right? And I don't want to say less as in the players are bad. I'm saying less is because it was a type of players that you really never really see at the University of Kentucky as a collective, as a whole team, right? You had a bunch of really good players from smaller schools who really came into this program and gave a shit and gave it all. And they all had really good skill sets, and they all did their job perfectly, right? And that's the run, and that was the result of the run you saw. And we all can agree that if healthy, here we go again, fucking talking about if healthy, if, buts and whats, whatever, they could have made a run to the Final Four. right? That team.
I don't think Tennessee beats us. I don't think there's any way Tennessee beats us healthy.
No,
that
I don't
team
think
was
they do either.
collectively together. They loved each other. They loved playing with each other, right? And that's what got us all hyped to coming this year, right?
And they were warriors, man. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Lamont, and Brea were two guys that were vocal, in your face, and like you had, but you also had Amari who would get into it, right? Like you would see Amari get in. Like Brandon Garrison's ass, right?
Yeah.
Like you'd see that happen. What's his face? Why did I forget the white kid's name?
Carr.
Already. Carr's another one that was a vocal leader, right? Like emotional. You didn't have to worry about
shit the whole game. Yeah.
No, Kirk Reese was on the bench talking shit. Like, and when right, like you had that. We don't have that on this team.
Even if he just stays healthy, I think the team would have had a better shot.
I agree.
At doing something. Because they had a ball handler at that point.
So that's why I was saying, like, we're all so confused about what happened this year, right? The money was thrown around, yada, yada, yada. That's not here nor there, right? That's why we're all confused about what the hell happened, right? We heard some of the big names, the Modi. We had the big news of Owe coming back, right? We had all this, but what the fuck happened, right? And that's what we're all confused about. And that's why we're all going to just kind of stand on business that year 3 has to be it, right? It has to be. He has to go back to what worked in year 1 and stop trying to please everybody else and just do what worked for him. So.
This roster construction fell apart when Caden Lewis decided to do.
That was
arguably too. I agree.
Yeah.
Here's the hope when
another
he
point guard to
replace
him. Say that again. I'm sorry.
Here's the hope when he jumps back in the portal.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
No, but I would take him in a heart. You might be thinking he jumps to the NBA. Rando, that's a really good point. I don't think nobody talks about enough, honestly. I mean, if Caden is on this team right now, this team has probably 4, maybe even 5 less losses. We don't lose to North Carolina. I don't think there's a shout. I don't think we lose to North Carolina.
No, you don't go
Missouri, Georgia.
With the Caden Lewis.
No, I agree with you. It's a great point. And like people want to say Pope whiffed, but that had nothing. I mean, that had more to do with the fact that we went after Lowe, probably shouldn't have, because it was a 2-year guy and didn't realize the player we had. So, I mean, maybe we can blame that on Pope, but I don't know that whole situation. So
I think that it was a personal situation even for Lewis.
I think that happened. I think
if Pops decides not to funnel money through his freaking thing, we're probably fine. But
probably.
I would assume that had a bigger role than people talk about.
I'll just see TV's been raising his hand. He like, y'all need to shut the hell up. I got something to say.
Sorry, go ahead, TV. Sorry.
No, it's fine, but like, it's just, when we like the coach, we can come out with these hypotheticals. If we'd have signed this guy, if we had done this, right? Like, it is what it is, but like,
if you don't win a title, there's always hypotheticals tied to the season,
right?
Yeah.
But because I see these things and I've seen people tabulate, over the last like 10 years, the injury problems that Kentucky's had, right? Like going back 8-9 years, we've had starters miss time, right? But all of a sudden, the last 2 years, it's like, well, you have to take that in consideration.
Yeah, but
right?
TB, we haven't had the percentage of like multiple starters either. Like that is a little different.
But see that now we're starting to split hairs.
But we're not splitting hair. Like if we're being honest, if we're being honest though, we have 3 guys that they thought would start that are out this year. 2 guys were out last year. Now they weren't out to the end last year, right? Like Lamont Gutler got re-hurt, and arguably, I think if Jackson Robinson doesn't get hurt, we survive. We still might go to an Elite 8, right?
I'm fine with whatever, man. Like, it is. I just, I see things and I'm like.
But last year that team also went to the mat too, right? Like you never doubted that team's the heart and desire and effort last year. And I think it was a little different. You knew we just didn't have the horses last year, right? It wasn't all the preparation. Like they at least went to the mat last year, right? This year is way different.
I don't think that injuries play as big of a factor for this year as people try to act like they do. I think this has all come down to the fact that the roster construction was horrible. He went and got a bunch of players that did not fit his system. He listened to way too many people because, let's be honest, majority of fans said that they wanted defense when we spent the last 5 years talking about how we wanted offense. Then suddenly we wanted defense again. And then he listened to those people, went and got the defensive players. And this is what happens when Mark Pope gets guys that can't shoot and tries to teach them and tries to teach defensive players how to shoot. I think that's majority of what the problems with this year's team was.
We do not have a lot of shooters.
There's some people with some comments. I'm gonna get them on here and let you all.
Can you talk about the game plan comment? Because like you talk about game plans and Pope's game plan being all jacked up. Vandy, Florida, like when you're getting your dudes opportunities at the rim and we miss 21, 25 layups, is that a Pope game plan thing? Or
the first game against Florida, I don't think anybody blames Pope for. Like that was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, this last one, I think the stat was they read with like 4 minutes left, we had missed 21 opportunities at the rim, and then the Vandy game, it was embarrassing how many layups we had missed opportunities at the rim. Like you're getting these dudes wide open opportunities to finish, even if it's contested to get to the free throw line, and we can't finish. Now that's maybe on Pope and the staff talent issue, but game plan, I don't think that's
there's a lot of those
Pope
forced
so
though.
many.
You have the
Four
A&M
shots, I
game,
felt
but
like
you have
that.
the A&M game and the Auburn game, which were just egregious coaching jobs. I think the A&M game on that run with him not calling the timeout, that was one of the most egregious coaching jobs I think I've ever seen from anybody in the sport.
Yeah.
Honestly, he should have called a timeout. Like when Florida scored the first 3 buckets, he should have called a timeout right there, and he let it get to 11-0 before he called a timeout. Right, like those are the things of like you like. Cal would call. I saw Cal call timeouts. I'm not trying to say I want Cal
less
back.
than 30 seconds
Cal,
into the game.
4-0 timeout, right? Like, but on the flip side, we don't have 3 or 4 dudes that he can just like rip their ass and sit them on the bench either, right? Like he is limited on that. Like, so that's where I do say there is a give and take a little bit of like, yes, there's these bad things, there is some limitations, but it's like it's always like there's not a consistent thing, right? It's always all over the place. If it was a consistent thing, we wouldn't have this conversation.
All right, let me jump in here. I'm gonna give some people in the chat some time. Ryan Adams, you don't realize the fall while you're in it, and now we find ourselves in lost relevance, staring down into a cellar. I've said this numerous times, and I get blasted by people that don't. I'm not a fan for saying, but we haven't been relevant this decade. Period. And to me, relevance. We had a couple of good regular seasons, but to me, it's the postseason. It's the SEC tournament. It's the NCAA tournament.
Well, that's
You're
not
talking 2020
true.
on. You're talking 2020 on.
This decade, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's part of it is the regular season as well, right? That's part of it. Like everybody says, wait until March, but part of being a Kentucky fan is putting the game on and knowing that you're not going to be down by 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
Part of being a Kentucky fan is like, we're playing Georgia. I ain't even got to pay attention. I can do everything over here. That's part of the experience as well. It's not just waiting until March. So that's where I would push back a little bit.
What's this? Pope is having a Zoom call on Dink Paint. Talk to me about that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Trace, you know anything? Trace, you got the scoop on that?
I just know he went to watch him the other day, right after one of our losses the day after that. That's all I know.
All right.
He would be
Anybody
a
else?
really good addition. He's
This
about
is a
like
G
getting
League
a
guy,
top-
right? G
Yeah,
League.
he would be like getting,
Yeah.
according to like some people, it'd be like getting like a top 10, 15 recruit.
You get
He-
him and
He's
Cole
also pretty young
Stokes.
too, isn't he? He's still pretty
he's like
young.
19. He's 19.
19.
You get
Yeah,
him
so
and
he didn't go to
Stokes.
college
Oof.
ball. He signed with Reebok. So if you guys want to know about Dink Pate, go to Netflix.
Yep.
I think it's Netflix. Watch the Shaq AI documentary when they were the president and VP of Reebok, and they really focused in on Dink Pate and convinced him to go G League route, not college route, because they thought he was going to hit the league real quick. He hasn't exploded as they thought, but he's a Reebok athlete, one of the first guys that Shaq and AI wanted to sign, along with Nate Ament. So you can know a lot about Dink Pate. He's kind of he's flashy. He comes off. I think if you watch him, his personality is kind of loud. But if you actually just go watch the documentary, I don't think that he doesn't seem like a diva, really. You watch him on the court, you see some of his stuff, you're like, I don't know. You watch the documentary, I think you'll want this dude wearing blue and white next year.
He's the kind of player that we haven't had in a while that I think Kentucky needs. Like you need a little bit of a flamboyant, maybe a little bit of a showboater, a little bit, but that's the kind of thing I think the fans want to get tied to. Like, but also a bucket getter, right? Like this dude could go out and average 18, 19 a game here very easily. And he's the type of guy when we're playing a game like yesterday, just goes and gets shots, right? And we need that.
Just saying, G League Ignite coach was Jason Hart. Jason Hart is on our staff. And also,
will he be on our staff next year?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I would assume he will be.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Do we know how many games Coach Hall lost at Rupp? TV might have known that. Let's see.
It's on the legal pad somewhere.
It's on the legal pad.
Yeah.
Games played, game plans this year laughable. He's been awful. TB, how many games did Coach Hall lose at Rupp? Do you know that?
Lose at Rupp during that 1 year, or just total?
Total. If you have the
got
I
total.
guess what's the most losses he ever had at home in a single year?
Yeah.
I don't have that in front of me. I just have just the 1 year. But even then, he wasn't losing at Rupp. So there you go.
That's the other thing too, right? Like Rupp's no longer a cathedral and a fortress. I mean, but that goes back to Cal. I mean, and that's a whole nother administrative conversation of just like we just also have really dog shit game day atmospheres, and that's not just a basketball problem, right? And that's the admin that needs to fix that.
That's the result of your president being 850 years old and your athletic director having been in the job for 45 years. Is what
Evan,
that is.
I got your answer. If you believe in AI, it says total home losses was 14. He was 121 and 14 at home.
That's wild. That's really good, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he got fired.
Anyway, yeah. All right.
That's
Let's.
very good.
14.
Where am I at?
121. And
Can I
14.
pose a question real quick, just to the group?
Sure.
All right. I'm one of those guys that also says like it's not necessarily never say never. We all thought Stoops was coming back. Is there the 10% chance that we get dog walked on Wednesday and dog walked in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and it gets so loud they have to do something?
No.
I am of the opinion yes, but I think it's slim. But we always have to realize there's always a point. Does anybody else think that if that happens, there is a point where maybe maybe it's so loud and so bad and so negative going into next year that they can't keep him?
No, and here's why. Do you really think Mitch Barnhart in the last 2 months of his job wants to go conduct another basketball coach?
I don't. But
He won't do
Champions
it
Blue
for just
could.
that reason.
But the Champions Blue board could potentially force the hand because I think they
Buyouts
forced
also
the hand a
$18
lot
million.
on. Well, they owe him $26 million. That's the biggest problem. That's why I think they're not going to fire him. But like you think no, it's fine. I'm not going to say never. I think it's slim. I want to say I do think it's very slim. But if you lost by 15 to LSU and then go to play like a 7 or a 10 and they beat you by double digits, I think it gets a lot more dicey than it is right now.
What I think would
If
happen,
that is a possibility, guys, no, sorry.
Okay. I think fans would try to run him off. Like, oh, look, Providence has a job opening. They like, oh, I'm just going to go over here and get out of this situation. The fact of the matter with Mark Pope is that's not going to happen.
Correct.
The only way you're getting rid of Mark Pope here is if he's getting fired. This is his dream job. He's not going to leave his dream job. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to Minnesota.
I agree with you on that part. I don't think he's taking an off ramp.
And he's got a lot of the former players on his side. Guys.
Yeah,
that
the
were
90s
cool.
nostalgia. We're going to run that back.
Yeah, the guys that were cool on Cal are now back in the fold. And if you follow some of these guys on Twitter, they're the first ones to tell you it takes time, all this kind of stuff. So you don't want to alienate that stretch of the former players.
I just figured it was worth an ask.
I would say if they do, if that's even on the table, like there's conversations behind the scenes, you mentioned Champions Blue, then there better be some things like there was with Stein, where you've already had conversations like, hey, dog, if this gets bad, we're coming for you. All right, TJ over in Iowa State, something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, answer the phone.
Billy
Like
Donovan.
you can't just do it's something. You just better have had those conversations now and not hope and pray you can find the right dude.
That's the only
like we
thing
did when Cal decided to walk.
Yeah, that was the only thing, right, Rando? Like we were talking about that. We were talking to each other in October about like, hey, we had both heard that Stein, that there had been some back channeling with some people that they had reached out or whatever, and that's why it happened so fast. But you're right, like that or Donovan or something, you got to have Plan B, and you got to have it to where it's 2 or 3, and it's not like last time because we were caught flat-footed when we the last search. Sorry, Kevin, took over your show. Go ahead.
It's okay. All right, let's talk the Nashville grind. The SEC tournament starts, as we mentioned a few times, this Wednesday. And if anybody is happy, if there's one group of people that are happy that Kentucky is playing on Wednesday, it's basically the city of Nashville, because they know we'll bring a crowd. But again, we're Kentucky, and Wednesday ball has never happened before.
The non-win team did not play on Wednesday.
Mm-mm.
The 9-16 team, they didn't. They played on a Thursday, I think.
They played on Thursday. That's what I'm saying. They did not play on Wednesday. That's why I said some of the pushback from fans is there's so much. This is the first time this has ever happened. Like, there's just a lot to take in. Like, we're the poverty franchise that kicks off the SEC tournament. Are you shitting me?
Trace, it starts Wednesday with LSU. If we can get past them, then it's probably Missouri Thursday, a team that we lost.
You know what our record was in the SEC that year? 8-9.
Yeah.
So sure, we didn't play on Wednesday, but we were 8-9 in the SEC.
Yeah, which tied for 8th.
You guys want to hear about the craziest shit in the world about you want to know about the Kentucky effect? Last night, tickets for the game were $9. They're $67 for Upper Deck now.
You did mention that. Well, you look last night $9.
That's like a 1,000% increase in ticket prices between last night and today. That is the Kentucky effect. That's crazy.
You know,
no other team's doing that.
Which goes to TV. Put up the whiteboard. Put it up again. That's why. That is why.
Trace, go back to you. We got the potential our 3-game stretch, at least 3. I'll look for now. Wednesday LSU, possibly Missouri Thursday, and if we can get to Friday, it's probably going to be Florida. But 3 games in 3 nights. The fatigue, that sorry narrative. But what do you feel?
Have to play Saturday to Tuesday, though. That's good news.
Touche.
Part of me that worries me as well is that Gonzaga game that we had this season was in the same building, Bridgestone Arena, and I was there, and that was about as humiliating as possible. The 35-point loss in the same building that we're going to, and I cannot stress.
Andy whipped our ass there too.
We've lost by 59 points in that city this year.
That's what I'm saying. That's perfect because we felt that way about Indianapolis for a little while, the St. Peter's and all the Champions Class and things like that. I'm getting a little bit. I know we had the OA game winner, etc. Then we got waxed by Alabama, and that was awful. But part of me, I am a little concerned about Nashville. Part of it is like you're going to beat if you beat Missouri. If at this point, then you get Missouri. LSU, Missouri. Then it's just like you're going to lose on Florida on Friday to Florida. We're not dominant anymore. I'm kind of worried. I'm not confident going into it. I mean, I guess our head coach is more confident. He said the postseason is just 1 game at a time, which it is. But I don't have any confidence going forward. I think it's going to be bad. And if you do lose one of those first 2 games that you're supposed to win, it's gonna be really loud. I'm not confident going into it all.
Davo, haven't heard from you. What are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm not excited at all. And that sucks because like March is like the time for everybody to be pumped up, right?
This is the greatest month of sports to me.
Yeah.
The madness.
It is. And this whole fucking season's been madness at this point. So you got LSU that took a miracle pass and a miracle catch and a miracle shot to win that game, right? your first game. So that's not encouraging, right? And then you get potentially Missouri who came in the ruck and beat you, right? And then after that, what do you get? You get the team that just got done spanking your ass in Rupp Arena, right? So there is nothing that is super encouraging about this. As always, I hope we make it to Sunday, but I'm not excited, guys, and that sucks.
What's is there really a good chance of Cam Williams playing?
Yes, I think so. According to, I think it was KSR put that out.
Yeah, he's been practicing, right? Full 5-on-5s.
Yeah.
In SEC play?
In this tournament.
SEC tournament?
It's another tournament, yeah.
SEC tournament. Okay.
I didn't know. I didn't hear that. I was the timeline, I think, put him at the beginning of the NCAA tournament if we got him in the SEC
I
tournament.
believe that's according to Jack Pilgrim, that he'd been going full strength in practice.
Yeah, he did put that out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think JQ probably plays too.
Oh, I'd be.
Or at
I
least- or
would
at
be
least
shocked,
dresses.
but that's not based on anything.
Really?
That's just based on my brain telling me that there's no shot he's playing.
They're saying, I mean, if you look at everything they're talking about, swelling's down. I think he's full contact too now.
If anything,
I-
to take care of his draft stock, right? Because
I
Yeah,
think-
if he wants to get drafted in lottery again, he better play.
I think
he's in the fucking 30s
he's.
almost.
I think he's got to play. I think he's gonna play. I mean, I think they're at least gonna give him a shot. Now, I don't think he can play 5 games in 5 days, but I think and maybe he doesn't play Wednesday, but maybe you see if Kentucky gets to Friday, I think you see him. And I definitely think you see him in the NCAA tournament.
Paul, do you know what's gonna be really fucked up? And of course, I hope I'm not jinxing nothing. But if it is happening the way it's happening, his draft stock is falling, right? What if this young man decides to come back to college and ends up getting a hold of some chicken money and ends up playing for Calipari at Arkansas?
Oh God, I don't. What? Here's the other what if. What if this young man comes back on the first game of the NCAA tournament, drops 25 a game, and takes us to the Final Four? I mean,
Then I'm buying his jersey.
yeah. You imagine.
I already got
you
one. He
imagine
needs
that.
to play. I already got one.
You imagine that? Like there is a like I will say this, like JQ does have the kind of talent that nobody else on this team really has. That if he turns it on for 6 games, he could win you 6 games. I mean, and if he goes and plays in an elite level, Kentucky does become a different team. Now, this is very hypothetical. I know TB doesn't like hypotheticals, but if you want to say what's the silver lining in this, if JQ does come back and Cam Williams comes back, the entire trajectory of this team does look different. I mean, Cam Williams is a 6'9" freak athlete that can hit outside shots. And if you get another outside shot maker, and Colin Chandler's proven that he can be that, right? Like you've got that kind of 3-headed monster at guard, and you've got him playing at a 4, the whole team looks different. And we did look different until he got hurt. So maybe if there's a silver lining, if those guys come back and are healthy, maybe they have a better shot to play somebody. But you can't be an 8 seed. You got to get into that 7 or 6, or you are in trouble.
I'm making this right here. If this team gets to the Sweet 16, I will chop this up and eat all the notes I have made comparing previous teams.
I agree with you.
If they make the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament, I will eat this paper that I've written. I will eat every single page I've written about this team and previous teams to make points.
If they're going to do that, if they're going to do that, they can't be an 8 or a 9, and they probably can't be a 7. The 1 seeds and the 2 seeds this year are so much better than everybody.
There's a big drop off, I think, even in the 2s though. I mean, there's only going to be 2 2s that I think that you're going to be real worried about.
But how many
there's a couple others.
Do you have? How many 2 seeds are there that you think this Kentucky team can beat right now, Paul?
I think they could beat Illinois.
I do not. I do not.
I think Illinois is too inconsistent. I'm not sold on Illinois at all. Florida, if Florida went to a 2 seed, no. I was looking at the lines. I think
they're a 1 now.
Oh yeah, they're a 1. They're a 1. Florida's a 1.
Am I crazy
Michigan
for thinking we
State,
could beat Houston?
I think we could beat Houston, and I think we could beat Michigan State.
I don't think we could beat Houston. We definitely can't beat Michigan State.
On our day, we can beat those teams. I think there's a huge gap between the ones. I think there's 5 real elite teams, and then there's a drop that I think they can lose to a lot of teams. Now, maybe they don't, but they can. And then you go to the 3s, and there's an even bigger drop. So if you get paired to where you could play a 3 seed in the second round, I like our chances a hell of a lot more. The 2 gets dicey on who you get matched up with, and the 1 is like you better pray that both your guys go for 30.
Yeah, you can't be an 8 or a 9 in this tournament and to have a chance at the Sweet.
Okay. The only one I think they could compete with, and this sounds dumb, is Duke, because Duke doesn't have like the monsters that all the other ones do. And if they go cold, maybe you can beat them.
They got
monsters. I'm talking about like Arizona's got like 7 guys that look like they're 12 feet tall, right? Like the size comparison in Arizona and UConn and so is just way different. I think all those teams would beat Kentucky by 25. I think, and I'm not saying, listen, I'm saying it's a 5% chance, but that would be the only team I'd be like, maybe we could have a shot against them at a 1, but it is also very slim. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not, I'm taking the spread on any of those games.
Let's move past, or not worry about the NCAA tournament at this point. Trace, I know you got to bounce. Give us final thoughts and heading into this week, and hope to see you next weekend.
Unfortunately, I feel like I'm in the same position I've been for 3 or 4 years now. I used to love the SEC tournament, as we all did. It used to be a blast. And the last, I don't want to.
Hey, look at that.
Hi. You say hi?
Those pretty eyes. Well,
She must take after what's the name?
She don't look like me. She don't look like me. Rando can vouch for that. Rando can vouch for it. She don't look like me.
But just kind of as I got to exit here, but unfortunately the SEC tournament used to be a blast, and Wednesdays and Thursdays too were fun for a while. The last few years, and I feel like it's just in a cycle now. It's year after year after year. It's very frustrating. I just don't have any confidence. We're going in there. We're playing on Wednesday now. I don't have any confidence, and that sucks. But as always, I'd love to be wrong. I hate that we've got to this point, but it's year after year. I'd love to be wrong. Let's see what they can do. Staying away from it, though, in terms of betting on it, I don't think we're going to win. But
you and me, bud. All right, Trace, appreciate you hanging with us.
Thank you, sir.
I'll be in touch. Hope to see you next weekend. Go Cats.
Peace, Trace.
Yep.
Everybody.
Okay. Let me see. All right. Let's all right. Where am I? What am I going?
Am I a bad fan for thinking we get to Friday? I don't really. We play Saturday and Sunday. Yes, I'll be happy if we actually get a chance. But if I want to see TB eat some yellow paper to get to a Sweet 16, I think we got to have the tournament's right around the corner. You get to Sunday, you're playing again on Wednesday, Thursday, depending on where you go in the
Thursday, Friday. It'll be Thursday, Friday.
On the seating line. Especially if you're talking about Cam coming back, maybe JQ coming back. Get me to Friday. We play Florida close. We get to Saturday, I'll be ecstatic. But if the big one matters, and I know this is changing the standard. TV, you come at me later. But if I want to make an NCAA tournament run, get to the Sweet 16, and then who knows once you get to the Elite 8. I don't think I want this team playing deep into the weekend, just because if you get there, it's going to have to be on the back of Oweh. And you saw what happened late in the Florida game. He just didn't have the legs. It's got to be on the back of Zell, and he's got to be more efficient. And you got to be able to ride Moreno and these young guys. If we're having to do this load management thing or playing the minutes game to get to a Sweet 16 and relying on BG or whatever the rotation is, or Trent Noah or Jasper.
Oh boy.
It just, you know what I'm saying?
UConn did it with a 7-man rotation, and then they won the Natty. So it is possible.
We don't got UConn's dudes though. We don't have
They only had 2 dudes. I mean, hey, listen, they had one dude that could rebound, but that was Shabazz and they had 2 bad dudes. I agree with you, but what I'm saying is it has happened before, so it's not like it's impossible. And UConn, I think, was worse than us most of the year that year, so it's possible, right? There's hope.
I've seen a national champion play 6 dudes. Because I'm not counting
our team,
right? I'm not counting Kyle. So you can do it. Don't tell me what can't be done, because I've seen it done.
That's fair.
With what we got on this team right now.
Would I be a bad fan if I said
but I'm
that
just saying, would I be things you can't do, and I've absolutely seen it done. I'm not trying to fire Pope, but I see people you can't fire a guy after 2 years.
We did it.
I've seen it done.
Yep.
Would I be a bad fan?
We literally
if
did
I
it,
said,
and then went to 9 Elite 8s. You can do these things.
Nolan, the
we
answer
just
is
choose
yes.
not to.
yes, probably.
Yeah.
Because I was getting ready to say, if we won an SEC title and then lost in the second round, Terry's definitely going to scorch me for that one, because that's lower in the standard, isn't it, Terry?
If we won the SEC title and lost in the second round, I think you would still see a lot more hope in next year.
I would feel
because
better.
of that. I would.
Better.
I would.
I wouldn't
you go,
yes, that was awesome, but I would
listen,
feel
here's
better
the other flip side to it, right? If you lose on Wednesday or Thursday, you're staring down the barrel of an 8-9. You might even go into the committee, and the committee really want to screw you and put you on an 11-11 play-in. It's not impossible at 19 and 13. If you lose Wednesday, that you're in a
Yeah,
play-in
you got to get
scenario.
to Friday. You got to get to
All
Friday.
of this-
You got to because if you
All
want
this
any
is
chance
just-
at a
yeah.
6 or a 7, you've got to get to Friday. And if you don't, you start putting yourself in a really situation where you like if you get to a 6 or a 7, Kentucky has a shot to get to a Sweet 16 still. Maybe it's still not
I would
great,
agree.
but you have a shot.
All of this is just to set up us against Miami of Ohio in the first round. All of this is. It's all
give
big
me that.
boy.
I said
Or-
that
or
yesterday. If you
Louisville.
give me Miami of Ohio in the first round, I'll cut your hand off for it.
I
I'll
would
cut your
take
hand
it
off
for
to play
sure.
them.
I
Yeah,
would take
you.
it.
I would take us a 10 seed playing them in the first round if they're a 7. Give me Miami of Ohio all day, every day in the first round. They have one top 200 win and have not played one top 100 team.
Real ones watched that Ohio game where it took like 3 overtimes to beat a 15-loss Ohio team. Like, come on.
Casey did a thing yesterday that I think he looked at that 82% of their conference games have been by 5 points or less.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
listen, credit to them. It's hard to go 31-0. It is hard, but they're not like the Wichita State 31-0 team. Like that team was good.
And to any of my friends and all my friends who have sent this to me, stop telling me that Travis Steele needs to be the next head coach at Kentucky.
Please, God, stop.
Put that down. Anyway, sorry, Kevin.
Stop.
You can have your show back now.
Can I? All right,
Yeah.
I can. I think I got the wheel. We're going to assume it.
You've lost
talk.
a lot tonight.
Well, what's that?
You have lost
boy.
the wheel a lot tonight.
I have, man, but I've got
That's what
some good
happens when he
talkers, and
invites
it's
14
okay.
of us on the show.
That's okay. You know,
And all of us like to talk.
and all, yeah, I do too. But I'm playing along. Mitch Barnhart, March 2nd, he signed.
I'm just going to mute myself until the end.
I'm gonna need because you got some good takes on Mitch. The narrative here, March 2nd, he is this. What is even this position? It's like a special advisor or whatever.
It's made up.
It's basically made up. This comes at a time too where UK and other schools are, citing their own financial
Executive in residence at the Sports and Workforce Initiative.
special assist. Yeah.
Executive in residence.
And I've said this too. I said this last night. This is we're handing him nearly $1 million. At the same time too, where the school is reaching out to the fans for donations.
That Eli Capilouto singularly signed off on, by the way.
Yep. And then he's potentially obviously Pope's not leaving, but he is going to be. Let's stay with Mitch. There's going to have to be a new AD, and he's going to be part of likely that conversation on who the new AD is. Paul, you've been a straight shooter when it comes to Mitch. Summarize what's going on here.
30-second summary, Paul.
Yeah, and then
Just
everybody
go to
gets it
someone else then. This is not a 30-second thing. Look, let me put it this. This is I put this out. Well, you know what? I'll say that for like the last shot. Look, this is it's not good, right? Like this is a hyperinflated athletic director with results that have been mid-tier at best. People want to talk about he's the greatest athletic director in our lifetime. For what? Like we can talk about the fact that they paraded 6 national titles on the table. 4 of them were in rifle. I don't even know if any of us can tell you when rifle season is, when any of those titles were. No disrespect to them. No disrespect to them, but like you get judged by and when I even say your top sports, men's, women's and women's basketball, baseball, softball, football, and if you want to count volleyball, it just depends on the school. Those are the 6 sports that you probably will follow in any capacity, right? Some more than others. Now here basketball matters. The fact that if you look in the last 24 years, teams like Florida and UConn have passed Kentucky standing still. that's got to be a referendum on the leadership you've had. And someone brought this up yesterday. There's been 3 scandals major. There's the cheerleading scandal that nobody even talks about anymore. You have swimming that looks now like, according to Kevin, doesn't go to trial until 2027. Right. And now you have a track and field. And I talked to some reporters 2 days ago who said that the track and field scandal is actually like 10 times worse. When people find out about it, it's like 10 times worse than what swimming was.
Isn't there a Title IX?
Yes, Title IX. There's all these problems, and then when you couple that in terms of winning, look at the facilities he did. We were really behind. Like, we're still behind in facilities. We're behind in basketball facilities. Football, we're falling behind again. Like, it needs some facelift. We have the worst game day atmosphere in the SEC. I don't think anybody would argue that. You go to other teams, it's fun. Kentucky fans are really good because, like, the atmosphere that's there is really us. Like, that's what's brought. There is no movement. And when you we went to Vandy, and I keep saying this, it was in your face the whole game. The whole game, it was in your face. It never stopped. You don't get that at Kentucky, right? Like, we run like these things out at the TV timeouts talking about like this dude who grew a crop 3 years ago and he won an award. Like, nobody gives a shit, right? Like, play some Lil Jon and like crank the speakers. By the way, can we get speakers that work at Commonwealth or whatever we want to call that place? Can we, like, in 24 years, you couldn't fix the fucking sound system at all? Like, so that you have 24 years of just mid. Like, we are competitive at everything and great at nothing anymore. And we are not winning SEC titles. We're not winning national titles, and we're giving this guy a send off. But the thing that I think is the most telling thing about Mitch is you have seen this failure over the last 6 years, and specifically the hostility towards the fans has grown significantly. And that's the thing, when the hostility keeps coming and you're told to shut up, don't ask questions, you fucking peasants, which is basically what he does. That should tell you everything you need to know, that the what we think are cracks are probably chasms, and we're really in a lot of trouble. And why I think Kentucky's on a knife's edge is because of the administration. And the ability to, these are easy problems in these days, but I don't think we have people in that building that can fix that. And it starts with Mitch and how he's ran this athletic program for the last 24 years.
And this is maybe a hot take, or maybe I'm totally out of bounds with this, but is this, Davo, TB, I'll start with you. Is this $950,000 salary a reward for 24 years of service, or is it hush money protection to keep Mitch in the fold, while these lawsuits play out? I'm
going to jump in on just that Mitch is the ringleader of all that. It's not hush money. This is just the corrupt aspect of how this administration thinks that he's been a success in their little cabal of stupidity.
So,
yeah. Go ahead, TB.
So I was a Mitch fan, for his first 15 years, because I thought there were some good things that were heading that direction. And then 2014, 2015, things started taking a turn, right? I don't know any Kentucky fan that could listen to the Pablo Torre expose on the swim team, which a direct quote from a former Kentucky swimmer. I don't care about, what that Riley Gaines is doing when my head coach raped my teammate. And it's like, what? Like, what are we doing? And basically the game plan is, because a lot of these smaller coaches, they're like year 2 contracts. So they drag out the investigation until the person's no longer employed. And then it's like, well, I guess that's okay, which seems to be the game plan that they're doing with the track and field and cross country coach. That to me is untenable. Like, that to me, whatever you've done, even if we had 15 championships, I don't want my university to be that. Not only is it 100%. Wrong, but I've got daughters myself, and we've got these women student athletes that are like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable on campus. That breaks my damn heart. Like, and it's just, and I'm with you, Paul. What I know about the track and field, it's worse than swimming, and my God, what are we doing? And then to kind of rub our face in it, yeah, I'm not a fan.
Okay. Where's the silence? Why is there silence? Just come back. Davo, thoughts on Mitch?
I'm going to try to
Who's the potential next AD? We can't hire one of our own.
I know who it doesn't need to be, and it's two
Same.
people, and it's Mark Hill, and it's Rachel Baker.
It's three.
So, three.
It's
Who do you think,
Baker,
Dwayne
Hill, and
Peavy?
Peavy. And I have
I
nothing
would
personally
be-
against. I have nothing. Hear me out. I have nothing personally against Wade Peavy, but DePaul's not been great.
Yeah.
And they have no football, and they're not a big time NIL school. And you need a guy that's going to come in here and be able to turn the keys on NIL and football and basketball. And I feel like PV is a nostalgia hire when we need an innovative hire. I have nothing against the man personally.
I don't disagree with you necessarily. I don't disagree with you really at all. But if it were PV, it's not the end of the world to me. I guess is the main thing I'm saying. But the two people that I really care about, like not getting the job, are Mark Hill and Rachel.
I'll die on that hill, and I could get talked into PV. Does that make sense?
That's
I think
exactly
he would
what
be
I'm
more
saying.
appropriate for that GM role because of what he's
I
done.
think he would.
I agree with you on that too.
And NIL and the K fund, that would be a perfect job for him. Now, does he look at it as a downgrade potentially? He gets to come back home. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
that'd be a home run hire.
Yeah,
that's a great shout.
Absolutely.
I don't know. The AD thing, I don't know, but as a GM, he would crush it.
I actually wouldn't mind if he came back as the assistant AD again. Like, I just don't think, and where he was focusing on that, I just don't think that where Kentucky is right now, we can afford that. And I've said this 100 times. I don't know why we're not looking at the assistant AD at Indiana. I mean, you want to talk about a team that pulled themselves out of the fucking ashes? Go get that guy, because they at least know what they're doing.
One thing about PV too,
similar to Vandy. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah.
One thing about PV to me though as well is if he were the athletic director, I do think he could go hire somebody, like hire a deputy AD that knows football or that could really focus on football and kind of help him hone that in a little bit. So you do have that, but the other two, I just don't. That would just be a repeat of Mitch Barnhart. I mean, I don't think PV really would be. Sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
No. I think you gotta. It just can't be from within, and it just makes me nervous that with Mitch just still having this oversight on it. My faith and all my confidence goes into Tammy and like, please God, buddy, do what you did with football. Go put your thing out there, lay it on the table, and said, hey, bud, this is what we're doing. But we will see, I guess. But the basketball GM has to happen, and I think you have to have it in tandem, because one thing, if you look at Indiana and Vandy, like the reason why they were able to do such a quick flip, their big three, right, from the president to the AD to the head football coach, were all in line. They all said, I'm going to give you all the money, I'm going to give you everything you need to make football great, because they knew all of athletics would be great after that, right? Because that's where the money comes in. We can do a lot of good things. Everybody, you've seen the chat, you mentioned on here, we don't have a president that has that mindset, right? The president is not about like super, let's go figure out athletics.
Does he even have a mind right now? Like, Pawpaw's asleep at the wheel, guys.
Yeah. So it's just like as long as that's there, you got to find someone who's strong-willed enough to be able to kind of Heisman that piece away. But the reason why IUs and whatnot have been successful is the top three are in sync, and I don't think we're going to have that while Mitch is still here, while Capilouto is still the president. So I don't know.
I think a lot of people
about the Baker idea. I'm really nervous about that. Her name is being thrown around so much to the point where I'm nervous that
I've actually heard her name less than Hill. I think if you look at like a lot of the big players, you're seeing Hill more than Baker. I think Baker causes too many problems because of the nepotism thing, right? Like her husband is the VP at JMI. I don't know legally if that would work. I think you could actually have like legal challenges coming from outside sources on that. I think that they would be really exposed there. I think Mark Hill's the same thing though. I mean, it's Mark Hill, Rachel Baker. They're 6 1/2 dozen the other. Flip a switch, right? But like there's a real problem too with Eli Capilouto, because our athletic program's gotten to this because you've had a president whose MIA on the athletic team is basically let Mitch Barnhart run this like, his little mafia that he wants to run. And there's been no checks and balances on the athletic department for a decade. And that has to change. And I think a lot of people had hope in Eric Monday, and I think those hopes have just dashed. Like Eric Monday, it can't be like if he's the president too. Like we're still have the same stupidity at the wheel. It's got to be Kentucky's board of trustees has to grow some balls and fix this, or Kentucky's in a big problem for a decade.
And the Eric Monday thing is so sleazy because he came out of nowhere.
Yes.
He pretty much came out of the shadows, and it's almost like he's saw an opportunity to get the president's job, to get that job from Capilouto, because he's like, oh, this guy's, like I said, he's 10,000 years old, so I could probably get this job in the next 2 years or something. And he just feels like a guy taking an opportunity of out of that. So I'm not a big Eric Monday fan.
Me either.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Final shots time. Nolan, I'll start with you.
Oh, okay. So first of all, don't root for a loss. Don't root for a loss. I don't care how bad you want someone fired. I say it all the time. Don't root for a loss. If you're going to do that, just don't even fan. Hope we win the title. We won't, but I hope we do. But at the end of the day, renovate Rupp Arena, put dividers in the urinals in the men's bathroom. Please change the sinks. And outside of that, do whatever the hell you want to that building. The amount of people I had tell me, new coach, I was talking about the building, not the program. So, let's do that. That's on my bucket list too.
Yep. Rando, what you got?
There is nothing more I want right now out of this season than TB dipping some yellow paper in some water or whatever, hot sauce, whatever he's got to do to choke that stuff down. So give me a Sweet 16, and I'll say I'm lowering the standard. I'll say it out loud, but I'll say it with pride and happiness, because I don't know what it's going to do to them guts, but it can't be good, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it.
Well, I'll throw on some Pepto-Bismol though, but it'll be it'll be must-see TV, because I promise you, me and Rando will plug this show for a fucking week to show it. You're going to be watching that. Like, this show will have 1 million people on because we will plug it so hard that you're eating paper.
Thinking about plugging it. Can I get my account back, Elon? Please, man. I've got hacked. Give me my stuff back, dude.
You still haven't got it back yet.
Tuesday. My 7 days ends on Tuesday. Please let me get it back. I don't know. I'm doing everything Gronk and ChatGPT told me to do to prove I got ownership, but I don't know. Their support won't email me back, so I don't know. There might be all UK ball 2 coming at you at the beginning of the football season. Who knows?
Do what you got to do. Paul, final shot, sir.
So I'm just gonna read. I'm just gonna read a post that I did earlier because I think it's important, and it's kind of just my final thought on everything. In the NIL era, the administration has become far more crucial to success on the field and the court. For years under Mitch Barnhart, Kentucky has operated like a closed-door operation that many donors and businesses have found difficult to work with. Those complaints start way before the NIL era. They've been around a long time. What's changed is the landscape. You can't lean on history and brand alone anymore. Success now depends on organization, adaptability, creativity, and the ability to identify the right talent when elite coaches no longer take discounts just to be part of blue blood programs or just to make a leap. NIL has leveled the playing field. Programs that adjust quickly thrive. Programs that don't are getting exposed, and Kentucky's one of them. And that's exactly what this new era has done in Kentucky, in the Kentucky athletic department. The same closed-minded approach that existed for years under Barnhart is now showing its cracks. It's a big reason we've seen the drop-off for the past 5 years, and why the tone from the administration towards the fans often feels dismissive. The frustration from the fan base isn't coming out of nowhere. It's a result of years of feeling ignored. Right now, Youth K Athletics is standing on a cliff. An internal hire or nostalgia hire at athletic director could set this program back a decade. Kentucky needs a real reset. That means cleaning house from top to bottom, starting with the president, Eli Capilouto, then Eric Monday and beyond. Fans can argue about Mark Pope and results all they want, but if the administration doesn't truly change, nothing else will either. The cycle will continue. A new coach, the same problems, the same frustrations. If fans want real change, the focus can't stop at the sideline. It has to reach to the top. That means directing the anger, frustration, and yes, even keeping dollars away to force a complete shift in leadership and culture. Simply blaming the coach is the easiest move. It's also what the people in power would prefer.
The end.
The end.
The end. That was, yeah. I'm with you. Totally with you. TB. Final shot, bub.
Final shot, another PSA. Just want to share with, got a bunch of guys here. So 12 years ago, this past Tuesday, I survived a suicide attempt. So I share that story to let folks know, reach out when you're feeling low, because we've seen, how tough the world can be. So reach out, whatever you need to do that. And then the next day, as I was thinking about that, I now have my colonoscopy scheduled. So take care of your mind and your body, because I know how us men are. Don't tough it out, whatever it is. Open yourself up. Take care of yourself.
Well said. Well said. Davo, you and
Yeah.
your green shirt gets the final shot.
Hey, man, we all got to be different, right? So, listen, at the end of the day, I didn't really get to speak too much on Mitch. I do kind of wish that he would be fired by cause, kind of like how Calipari was secretly fired by cause by skinny dipping with Arkansas administration and basically seeking out a job and not having to get his buyout. And by cause, I wish that every contract that he signed that was fucking retarded gets voided and all the buyouts are gone, including JMI. So that's my hope and that's my wish, that somebody gets it together and takes care of the situation, because he has done a lot of fucking stupid stuff over the years, and that's what we deserve. So that's my final shot there. And Rando, please get your account back, because no matter how many DMs you send me, I will not click on that link so you can hack my account. So
I was mean.
No.
Rando, I was mean to them, and so now I got unfriended. Just letting you know. I was mean to them, and now I cannot see your tweets.
Good. I was told it was locked. Twitter said because of illegal activity it was locked. It clearly is not, because they're still sending stuff.
And please unblock me too when you get it back, because I can't.
I will, my guy.
Good stuff tonight, guys. I think this 9 o'clock. I didn't want to go this late, but then Paul is on here, and then I realized when Paul's on, the length of the show doubles easily.
You also have 700 people on the live right now on just our stream.
So there you go.
I told you later is better. It's tripled from last week.
It did. All right, good stuff. The SEC tournament this week, Wednesday night, or what time is it? Wednesday? What time are we playing Wednesday?
Wednesday night. We're the first game, buddy.
First game. First
getting
game.
the tone on Wednesday.
It's breakfast time here in Central Standard Time. So
that's a good point. Yeah, and it'll be in the morning for you, TV.
I can't believe I have to watch Kentucky basketball at work on a Wednesday. I can't believe I have to do
breakfast
that.
for Rando.
9:30. If we, I got leave in. If we make it through Wednesday, you won't. They won't see me at work Thursday, Friday.
There you go. Well, I hope to see you all next Sunday as we we'll be back doing this again. SEC tournament this week. Let's root for the boys. Go Cats! And
what time is the selection show Sunday, though, Kevin?
Isn't at 6?
It's 6.
Yeah. Next Sunday, this thing will be. Yeah, next Sunday we'll know everything. By
nothing past Friday night matters for the turn for the bracket.
Yep.
They've proven
unless you win it.
Nothing past Friday night.
Unless you win
you're
it.
not already going. You're not going.
Then
right.
Next week, you guys can preview Kentucky versus Miami of Ohio in the first round.
That would be
I will literally be hype about it if that happens.
all right, guys.
Love you guys.
Good stuff.
You boys.
Good night, everybody. Have a good week. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Yes.
Later.